Hello there. Are prayers necessary? Are prayers necessary? Do we need to pray? Do prayers work? Do prayers work? Well, let us look at an example. And here, generally, we are talking about prayer of petition. People asking. Matthew 7:7. Ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock at the door shall be opened. Do prayers of petition, do they work? Do they work? Or are we just feeling good for doing nothing when we pray? So that's a topic for reflection at the moment. First, if you are new here, I'd be glad you will subscribe to our channel in order to join the family, as well as click on the notification bell such that whenever there is new stuff up, you are informed in real time. So let's dive in. Are prayers necessary? Everybody prays, or the most part. A lot of people pray. Are they necessary? Are their prayers answered? That the Bible tells them to pray. The Quran tells them to pray. But are they just feeling good for doing nothing? Or are they really getting answers to their prayers? Now let's look at a few examples. When a man of God needs money, or an imam, do they pray for money? Or do they ask the congregation to give them money? The answer is obvious. So if prayers work the way they make people think they work, why don't they just pray for money to fall from heaven? Why do they ask humans for money? A student preparing to take on end of year exams, what does he or she have to do? Does she have to pray or go get her pens and head blessed? Or does she study for the exam? A farmer who wants a great harvest, what does he have to do? Does he have to sow seed, sow grain, and await the harvest? Or does he sit and pray? Pray for breakthrough, pray all night for throughout the season, the farming season, and then expect the harvest at the end of it all? If you genuinely answer those questions, you would understand that prayer operates in a different equation, different from the success equation. It operates in the revelation equation. That's where prayer operates. But in the success equation, it's about something else. Now, where Africans miss the point is that we constantly use spiritual tools to battle physicality. And we've been missing it for ages, and we keep doing so. The physical equation, the success equation, obeys the laws of nature. If you don't sow, you won't reap. If you don't prepare for an examination, you would not make it. However hard you pray and fast. That is the difference between the success equation and the revelation equation where prayer operates. And the laws of nature are consistent with the success equation. You cannot reap if you do not sow. It's impossible. You cannot reap if you don't sow. You could spend your entire day praying, but if you do not sow, you would not reap. And if you want to sow, and if you want to reap rather abundantly, you have to sow abundantly. If you sow a grain, you reap just the measure of what a grain can produce. If you sow 2 grains, same. If you sow 10 grains, same. The multiplier effect. Because God will bless the works of your hands, God will not bless the prayer of your lips. It is the works of your hands. That's why in the success equation, everybody makes it. Be you a Christian, a Muslim, whatever, everybody can make it if you obey the rules of the success equation. You just have to sow, carefully plan, take the good decisions, etc., etc. But prayer is something else. Prayer is in the revelation equation. Prayer is for spiritual warfare. Prayer is about the things you cannot do, however hard you try. But a student going in for an exam knows what he or she has to do. Study and study hard. And then what you cannot do will be done for you. So the prayers work. Are prayers answered? Well, let's look at another example. In Matthew chapter 6, Luke chapter 11, guess I'm quoting correctly. The apostles come to Jesus the Christ asking him to teach them how to pray. And he gives them the Lord's Prayer, Our Father in heaven. In the fourth stanza of that prayer, it is said, may your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So prayer is about the will of God. The will of God being done. And that to me just summarizes what prayer of petition should be all about. Because once you've understood what you say when you say, let your will be done, then you need not add anything else. You want God's will to be done in your life. Why add any other thing? God's will may be that you die the next day. God's will may be that you're successful. God's will may be that you become rich just a day before you die. God's will may be that none of your kids will go abroad. That could be the will of God. So once you've said, let your will be done, why add anything else? That should be the summit of your prayer and possibly the only prayer you pray. Because the prayers that are answered are the prayers that are according to his will. First letter of St. John, chapters 5, verse 14 and 15. Is when we pray according to his will that we get answers. And what is his will? Do what you have to do, and his will be done in your life. His will may be that you don't get the 50 kids you need. He wants you to stay at 2. Let his will be done, his perfect will. Without digressing a lot, just conclude by saying, prayer works in the revelation equation. In the success equation, you have to do what you have to do. If prayer worked in the success equation, then your man of God will pray for money to God in heaven. He won't ask you for money. The success equation is about you and me and those around us. Prayer cannot replace. Physically, it does not go that way. Prayer ends in its equation. So you could pray all day, do all nights, but if you have not sown the seed you need to sow in order to reap, because you must sow in order to reap, you're wasting your time. And you would end up saying God has not answered. God has nothing to do with it, because God has given you the keys. Sow and you will reap. And if you sow bountifully, if you sow abundantly, you will reap abundantly. For everybody reaps what he sows. If you have not sown, you would not reap. It's like going for a job, and most of us do that. Most of us have done that. You're not qualified for the job. And you pray to God for the job, fast and pray, and do everything spiritually possible for God to give you a job for which you are not qualified for. Who does that? So let's just say you are in the medical field. You are not a cardiologist. You are a neurologist. And they are looking for a cardiologist. And you go register for the job. You apply for the job and pray and fast and do everything humanly possible. You cannot get the job. You are not a cardiologist. If you want to get the job for the in the cardiological field, but you have to sow in cardiology. If you are a carpenter and there is an offer to be a nurse in a certain institution, how do you get the job of a nurse if you have not sown in the nursing field? And so yet a lot of people say God is employing and they are unqualified to. That's stupidity. So they go kill people. Sow and you will reap. Sow and you will reap. Sow bountifully and you will reap abundantly. If you don't sow, you won't reap. And prayer would not help you. None of your prayers will be answered in the domain in which you did not sow. Or rather, those who don't pray and sow will get what they achieve, what they are looking for, because God will bless the works of their hands. That's why atheist China is exploding in success in all domains. And praying Africa is the most corrupt, the most dark, the most underdeveloped, the most everything that is negative possible. But they are the most praying continent because we've missed the mark. Thank you for following. If you enjoy our content, I'll be glad you like, share, and comment so the word gets out. People may just be transformed through you.